How do you know so much? That's the question that's driving them crazy. They watch you walk into a room and somehow you already know what they are about to say. You see patterns they can't see. You connect dots they don't even know exist. And now they are confused because the version of you they underestimated doesn't exist anymore. See? While they were chasing distractions, you were studying. While they were sleeping, you were learning. While they were talking, you were observing. And that's what scares them. Because knowledge is power, but awareness is a weapon. They can't understand how you became 10 steps ahead. They can't figure out why every move they make seems predictable to you. They thought you were just another face in the crowd. They never realized you were quietly building a mind that sees beyond the obvious. Now they are searching for answers. They are asking questions. They are trying to decode your secrets. But here's the truth. There is no secret, no pocket, no shortcut, just relentless curiosity, painful lessons, and an obsession with understanding the world while everyone else was busy being entertained. And today, you are about to discover why the most dangerous person in any room isn't the strongest. It's the one who understands what everyone else misses. Most people think intelligence is built by talking more, proving more, and constantly showing the world what they know. They believe the loudest voice in the room is the smartest. They believe confidence comes from being seen, being heard, and being recognized. But the truth is often the exact opposite. Real intelligence is usually born in silence. Silence is where awareness grows. Silence is where observation becomes a superpower. While everyone else is busy speaking, reacting, arguing, and trying to impress others, a silent person is collecting information. They are watching body language. They are noticing patterns. They are studying reactions. They are learning things that people reveal without ever realizing it. The world is constantly giving away clues. Every conversation contains hidden information. Every action reveals priorities. Every decision exposes character. Most people miss these clues because they are too focused on expressing themselves. They are so busy creating ways that they cannot hear what reality is trying to teach them. The silent individual operates differently. They understand that every person becomes an open book when given enough time. Human behavior follows patterns. Emotions create predictable reactions. Habits reveal intentions. Weaknesses expose themselves. Strengths become visible. The more you observe, the more these patterns become impossible to ignore. Silence creates space for thinking. In a world addicted to instant reactions, thinking has become a rare skill. People respond before understanding. They judge before analyzing. They argue before learning. They rush toward conclusions because patience feels uncomfortable. But intelligence requires patience. Intelligence requires the ability to sit with information long enough to understand it. When you spend time in silence, your mind begins connecting details that others overlook. Small observations become larger insights. Tiny pieces of information start forming complete pictures. What once seemed random begins to make sense. You start seeing relationships between events. You recognize motives behind actions. You understand causes behind outcomes. This is why the most aware people often appear mysterious. They know things others do not. Not because they possess special powers, but because they have trained themselves to notice what everyone else ignores. They have developed the discipline to remain quiet long enough to see the truth unfolding in front of them. Silence also protects your energy. Every unnecessary argument drains attention. Every attempt to prove yourself steals focus. Every reaction gives away emotional control. Intelligent people understand that not every battle deserves participation. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every challenge deserves engagement. There is strength in remaining calm while others lose control. There is power in understanding while others assume. There is confidence in knowing while others speculate. Silence allows you to keep your emotions disciplined and your judgment clear. Many people fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves. Without distractions, excuses become visible. Without noise, weaknesses become impossible to hide. Without constant stimulation, a reality becomes clearer. This is why so many run from quiet moments. They would rather drown themselves in endless entertainment than confront uncomfortable truths. But growth begins when distractions end. Growth begins when you stop escaping your thoughts and start learning from them. The mind becomes sharper when it is given room to think. Reflection creates understanding. Understanding creates wisdom. Wisdom creates better decisions. The strongest minds are not built through constant activity. They are built through intentional observation and deep reflection. They are built by questioning assumptions. They are built by studying experiences. They are built by learning from mistakes instead of denying them. Every successful person develops the ability to observe before acting. They gather information. They analyze situations. Understand consequences. They recognize opportunities that others miss because they have trained themselves to pay attention. Silence teaches discipline. It teaches self-control. It teaches emotional intelligence. It teaches patience. These qualities become powerful advantages in every area of life. Relationships improve because you listen more carefully. Decisions improve because you think more deeply. Opportunities increase because you notice things others overlook. A world rewards awareness more than most people realize. Awareness helps you avoid unnecessary problems. Awareness helps you recognize valuable opportunities. Awareness helps you understand people, situations, and environments with greater accuracy. When you learn to embrace silence, you stop depending on constant validation. You stop seeking approval from people who do not understand your journey. You stop feeling the need to explain every decision. You become comfortable letting results speak for themselves. A silent mind becomes a focused mind. The focused mind becomes an observant mind. The observant mind becomes an intelligent mind. Day after day, observation compounds into understanding. Understanding compounds into wisdom. Wisdom compounds into power. While others continue chasing attention, you continue gathering knowledge. While others compete to be heard, you continue learning. While others reveal everything, you continue observing everything. Every quiet moment becomes an investment. Every observation becomes information. Every lesson becomes an advantage. The greatest secrets are rarely hidden. Most people simply move too fast to notice them. The answers are often right in front of them. The patterns are visible. The clues are obvious. But only to those who have mastered the ability to slow down, stay quiet, and truly pay attention. Silence is not weakening. Silence is not fear. Silence is not passivity. Silence is preparation. Silence is awareness. Silence is intelligence being built one observation at a time. Most people live their lives based on assumptions. They assume they know what others are thinking. They assume they understand situations before gathering facts. They assume they know how the world works because of a few experiences, a few opinions, or a few emotions. These assumptions feel comfortable because they require very little effort. Observation, however, demands patience, attention, and discipline. The difference between observation and assumption is the difference between seeing reality and seeing imagination. Observations are stories created by the mind. Observations are facts collected from the world. One is built on guesses, the other is built on evidence. Each of us make assumptions every day without realizing it. They judge someone after a few seconds of interaction. They predict outcomes without understanding the circumstances. They believe rumors without verifying information. They interpret actions based on personal feelings instead of objective reality. This habit creates misunderstandings, poor decisions, and unnecessary conflicts. Observation operates differently. Observation requires a person to slow down and pay attention. It requires listening carefully instead of preparing the next response. It requires noticing details that others ignore. It requires the willingness to accept reality even when reality contradicts personal beliefs. A person who relies on assumptions sees only what they expect to see. A person who relies on observation sees what is actually there. As difference changes everything. Imagine entering a room filled with people. Someone operating on assumptions immediately creates judgments. They decide who is important, who is confident, who is trustworthy, and who is weak. These conclusions are often formed within moments, but someone who observes remains patient. They watch interactions. They notice behavior. They study reactions. They gather information before reaching conclusions. Over time, the observer gains a clearer understanding of the people around them. They begin recognizing patterns. They see consistency or inconsistency between words and actions. They understand motivations. They identify strengths and weaknesses. Their conclusions are based on evidence rather than imagination. Observation is one of the most powerful advantages a person can develop because reality always leaves clues. People reveal themselves through behavior. Organizations reveal themselves through decisions. Opportunities reveal themselves through patterns. Problems reveal themselves through warning signs. Most individuals miss these clues because they are trapped inside assumptions. They see only what they expect to see. Their minds become filters that block important information. Instead of discovering the truth, they search for evidence that confirms existing beliefs. This creates a dangerous cycle. The more assumptions a person makes, the less they learn. The less they learn, the more confident they become in inquiry. Conclusions. Eventually, they begin confusing opinions with facts and feelings with reality. Observation breaks this cycle. Observation creates curiosity. It encourages questions instead of immediate answers. It values understanding over certainty. It allows people to learn continuously because they remain open to new information. The greatest thinkers, leaders, and strategists throughout history shared one important trait. They observed carefully before acting. They understood that information is one of the most valuable resources in the world. They knew that accurate understanding creates better decisions. Observation strengthens judgment. Every detail collected adds another piece to the puzzle. Every interaction provides another clue. Every experience offers another lesson. Over time, these pieces combine into a deeper understanding of people and situations. But this ability becomes especially important when dealing with human behavior. Words can be misleading. Promises can be full. Appearances can be deceptive. But behavior is difficult to fake consistently. Actions reveal priorities. Habits reveal character. Your actions reveal emotions. Patterns reveal intentions. An observer learns to focus on these signals. Instead of believing everything they hear, they pay attention to what people repeatedly do. Instead of reacting to surface appearances, they examine deeper patterns. Instead of accepting assumptions, they seek evidence. Observation also improves emotional control. Assumptions often trigger unnecessary reactions. A person assumes disrespect where none exists. They assume failure before attempting success. They assume rejection before receiving an answer. These assumptions create fear, anger, anxiety, and frustration. Observation reduces these emotional traps. It encourages a person to gather facts before reacting. It promotes clarity instead of confusion. It replaces emotional guesses with objective understanding. In competitive environments, observati becomes even more valuable. Success often belongs to those who notice opportunities before others do. Small trends become major advantages. Tiny changes reveal future possibilities. Subtle signals expose risks before they become disasters. The observer notices what others overlook. They identify patterns hidden within chaos. They recognize connections invisible to distracted minds. Their awareness allows them to move with greater confidence because their decisions are grounded in reality. Many people believe intelligence is about having answers. In reality, intelligence often begins with asking better questions. Observation fuels these questions. It creates a desire to understand rather than simply assume. It transforms curiosity into knowledge and knowledge into wisdom. The modern world constantly encourages assumptions. Social media promotes quick judgments. Headlines encourage instant opinions. Fast-paced lifestyles reward immediate reactions. Patience is becoming rare. Careful. Observation is becoming uncommon. Those who resist this pressure gain a significant advantage. They train themselves to look deeper. They refuse to accept appearances at face value. They gather information before forming conclusions. They understand that reality is often more complex than it first appears. Observation develops awareness. Awareness develops understanding. Understanding develops better judgment. Better judgment creates better decisions. Every meaningful achievement depends on the quality of decisions being made. The person who observes learns continuously. Every conversation becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes information. Every success and failure becomes data. They move through life collecting knowledge while others move through life collecting assumptions. Where assumptions create blindness. Observation creates vision. Where assumptions create confusion, observation creates clarity. Where assumptions create weakness. Observation creates insight. The indivi. Who masters observation gains access to truths that remain invisible to those who never look beyond their own expectations. Since the beginning of history, people have searched for power. Some chased wealth. Some pursued status. Some built armies. Some fought for influence. Others spent their lives trying to control people and circumstances. Yet through every era, one truth remained unchanged: knowledge has always been the foundation beneath every form of power. Money can disappear. Titles can be taken away. Physical strength fades with time. Popularity rises and falls, but knowledge stays with the person who earns it. It becomes a permanent asset that continues producing value long after other advantages disappear. Most people underestimate the true value of knowledge because they focus only on immediate results. They see information as something useful for passing exams, getting jobs, or winning arguments. They fail to recognize that knowledge changes the way a person sees the world. It transforms perception. It sharpens judgment. It improves decision-making. It reveals opportunities hidden from those who remain unaware. Every major advancement in human history was created by knowledge. Every invention, every breakthrough, every innovation began when someone learned something others did not know. Knowledge has built nations, transformed industries, changed economies, and altered the course of civilization. The person who understands more often controls outcomes without needing force. They recognize patterns before others see them. They predict consequences before they arrive. They understand systems, relationships, and behaviors with greater accuracy. This creates an advantage that cannot easily be measured but is impossible to ignore. Many people spend years chasing shortcuts to success. They search for secret formulas, easy answers, and instant results. Meanwhile, the truly successful individuals focus on learning. They understand that knowledge compounds over time. Every lesson connects to another lesson. Every skill strengthens another skill. Every piece of information expands their ability to understand reality. This process may seem slow at first, but its impact becomes extraordinary. Small amounts of knowledge gained consistently create massive advantages over years. While others remain stagnant, learners continue growing. While others repeat the same mistakes, learners develop better strategies. While others react emotionally, learners respond intelligently. Knowledge gives people freedom. The more you understand, the less dependent you become on others for answers. You begin solving problems independently. You begin making informed decisions. Ignorance creates dependence. Knowledge creates independence. Knowledge creates independence. When people lack knowledge, they become vulnerable to manipulation. They trust information without verifying it. They follow opinions without questioning them. They allow others to shape their beliefs and decisions. A lack of understanding creates weakness because it places control in someone else's hands. Knowledge changes this dynamic completely. An informed person thinks critically. They evaluate evidence. They question assumptions. They seek understanding instead of blindly accepting information. This ability protects them from deception and allows them to make choices based on reality rather than influence. The most powerful battles in the world are often fought with information. Businesses compete through knowledge. Governments rely on knowledge. As scientists create breakthroughs through knowledge. Investors build fortunes through knowledge. Leaders make decisions through knowledge. Behind every major success lies a deeper understanding of something that others have not yet learned. Knowledge also creates confidence. Not the loud confidence that seeks attention, but the quiet confidence that comes from competence. When you understand a subject deeply, uncertainty decreases. Fear loses its grip. Doubt becomes easier to manage. You trust yourself because your confidence is supported by preparation and understanding. This type of confidence is difficult to shake because it is built on reality rather than ego. It does not require validation from others. It does not depend on praise. It comes from knowing that you have invested time into learning and improving. One of the greatest mistakes people make is assuming they know enough. The moment learning stops, growth begins to slow. The world changes constantly. Industries evolve. Technologies advance. New opportunities emerge. New challenges appear. Those who stop learning eventually fall behind because reality never stops moving forward. The most successful people remain students regardless of their achievements. They continue reading. They continue studying. They continue asking questions. They understand that every new piece of knowledge expands their ability to create value. Knowledge is not limited to books or classrooms. Life itself is a teacher. Every conversation contains lessons. Every failure contains information. Every success reveals principles. Every experience offers insights. Those who pay attention can learn from almost anything. A curious mind becomes a powerful mind. Curiosity drives exploration. Exploration creates understanding. Understanding creates wisdom. Wisdom improves decisions. Better decisions improve results. This is why learning should never be viewed as a temporary phase. It is a lifelong process. Every day offers an opportunity to know more than yesterday. Every lesson creates another tool that can be used in the future. The person who invests consistently in knowledge gains an advantage that compounds across every area of life. Relationships improve because they understand people better. Careers improve because they understand their field better. And finances improve because they understand opportunities and risks better. Leadership improves because they understand decision-making better. Knowledge influences every outcome because every outcome is connected to decisions, and decisions are influenced by understanding. The world often celebrates visible achievements while ignoring the invisible learning that created them. People admire success without seeing the years of study behind it. They notice results without recognizing the knowledge that produced those results. Every expert was once a beginner. Every leader was once a learner. Every master was once a student. The difference between average and exceptional is often found in the willingness to keep learning long after others have stopped. Knowledge expands vision. It reveals possibilities. It uncovers opportunities. It exposes risks. It strengthens judgment. It sharpens awareness. It turns confusion into clarity and uncertainty into understanding. The individual who commits to learning gains access to a form of power that cannot be stolen, borrowed, inherited, or purchased. It must be earned through effort, curiosity, discipline, and continuous growth. Every book read, every lesson learned, every skill developed becomes another piece of a foundation strong enough to support extraordinary achievements. Most people spend their lives reacting. They wait for events to happen, then decide what to do. They wait for opportunities to appear, then try to catch them. They wait for problems to arrive, then search for solutions. Their entire approach is built around response rather than preparation. As a result, they constantly feel like they are trying to catch up. People who achieve extraordinary results think differently. They do not live one step ahead. They do not live 2 steps ahead. They train themselves to think 10 steps ahead. They understand that the future belongs to those who prepare for it before it arrives. Thinking ahead is more than intelligence. It is a mindset. It is the ability to see beyond the current moment and understand where actions are leading. Every decision creates consequences. Every habit produces outcomes. Every choice shapes the future. Those who recognize these connections gain an advantage that others rarely understand. Most individuals focus only on woo. A hot is directly in front of them. They see today's challenge, today's opportunity, today's problem, and today's reward. They become trapped by short-term thinking. Immediate comfort becomes more important than long-term success. Temporary emotions become more powerful than strategic decisions. The person who stays 10 steps ahead refuses to be controlled by the present moment. They think beyond today. They think beyond next week. They think beyond next month. They examine where their current path will lead in the future. When they make a decision, they ask themselves what the consequences will be months or years later. When they develop a habit, they consider what that habit will produce over time. When they encounter opportunities, they evaluate not only immediate rewards, but also future possibilities. This type of thinking creates a powerful advantage because life rewards preparation. Success rarely arrives by accident. It usually appears where preparation and opportunity meet. Those who prepare early recognize opportunities while others are still trying to understand them. The ability to think ahead begins with observation. Every action creates patterns. Every system follows predictable principles. Human behavior follows trends. Markets move through cycles. Organizations evolve. Relationships develop through consistent actions. Those who pay attention can often predict outcomes before they become obvious. This does not require supernatural abilities. It requires awareness. It requires studying cause and effect. It requires understanding that today's actions become tomorrow's reality. Many people are surprised by events that were entirely predictable. They ignore warning signs until problems become impossible to avoid. They overlook opportunities until someone else takes advantage of them. They react to situations that could have been anticipated months earlier. The individual who thinks 10 steps ahead notices these signals early. They recognize patterns, before others notice them. They identify risks before they become crises. They prepare solutions before problems emerge. This preparation allows them to remain calm while others panic. When uncertainty appears, most people become emotional. Fear influences decisions. Anxiety creates confusion. Pressure leads to mistakes. A person who has already considered possible outcomes remains composed because they are not facing something completely unexpected. Preparation creates confidence. Planning reduces fear. Awareness increases control. This principle applies to every area of life. In business, successful leaders anticipate changes before competitors recognize them. In careers, successful professionals develop skills before they become necessary. In relationships, emotionally intelligent individuals recognize issues before they become major conflicts. In personal growth, disciplined people invest in habits before results are visible. The future often rewards those who act before reward are guaranteed. Waiting for certainty usually means arriving too late. Those who stay ahead understand that preparation must occur before evidence becomes obvious. Thinking 10 steps ahead also requires discipline, because the benefits are rarely immediate. Most people prefer instant rewards. They want quick results and immediate satisfaction. Long-term thinking demands patience. It requires sacrificing temporary comfort for future advantages. A person who studies consistently may not see dramatic improvements after a single day. Someone who saves money may not notice major progress after a single week. An individual developing new skills may not experience immediate success. Yet over time, these small investments compound into significant advantages. The ability to think ahead transforms ordinary actions into strategic decisions. Every hour becomes an investment. Every habit becomes a tool. Every lesson becomes preparation for future opportunities. People who remain trapped in short-term thinking often wonder why success seems unpredictable. They focus on outcomes while ignoring preparation. They notice victories without recognizing the years of planning that created them. They see achievements without seeing the disciplined thinking behind those achievements. A person who stays ahead understands that today's preparation becomes tomorrow's advantage. I know that future opportunities are often invisible in the present moment. They trust the process of consistent preparation even when immediate rewards are absent. One of the greatest benefits of thinking ahead is the ability to avoid unnecessary mistakes. Many failures occur because people focus only on immediate desires. They ignore consequences. They overlook risks. They prioritize temporary emotions over long-term outcomes. Strategic thinkers examine decisions carefully. They ask what could go wrong. They consider potential obstacles. They evaluate multiple scenarios. This does not make them pessimists. It makes them prepared. Prepared individuals move through challenges more effectively because they have already spent time considering possibilities. They are not surprised by every obstacle. They are not forced to create solutions under pressure. Their preparation provides flexibility and confidence. The world changes constantly. Technology evolves. Industries shift. Opportunities emerge and disappear. Those who think only about the present often struggle to adapt because they are always reacting. Those who think ahead position themselves for change before it becomes necessary. They understand that success is not simply about working harder than everyone else. It is about thinking further than everyone else. It is about seeing possibilities before they become obvious. It is about preparing before preparation appears necessary. Every major achievement begins long before it becomes visible. Every victory starts as a decision. Every success begins as preparation. Every advantage is built through consistent actions taken before results can be seen. A person who remains 10 steps ahead understands that the future is not something that suddenly arrives. It is something being created every day through choices, habits, preparation, awareness, and the willingness to think beyond what is immediately visible.